No, not really. Because Sherman's a foodie too, but I don't think he cooks like that as well.
I know Sherwin doesn't cook. That's a fact. But just like Sherwin, I love to eat. Speaking of eating, listen, y'all, we just coming off of a Labor Day holiday. Now, when you hear the two words Labor Day, what does that mean to you? I'm gonna start with you, Ricky. What does that mean to you when you celebrate or acknowledge, or do you even recognize Labor Day?
I hate to say it, but it just I recognize it for the wrong reasons. I recognize it as okay. I get to sleep in, and I don't have to be at the radio station this morning. I know that's messed up, but
no, it's not. That's real.
But you're supposed to be
that's
celebrating
real.
it for the right reasons, like for the veterans and stuff like that.
That's real. And Veterans Day is technically in November. But as far as Labor Day, and good morning to you, Jasmine. Jasmine on our YouTube message board says, hey, y'all, hello, DT. Good morning to you. And make sure that if you are sitting somewhere where you can stream and watch your girl live, we are broadcasting live from our YouTube channel. That's 101.7 The Truth. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Because, again, we're going to be getting to some major topics today. I got to try to do my best because I know Professor Hughes, he keeps it all the way 101.7 The Truth. So I got to make sure at least I uphold his intellectual ability to stimulate and provoke your thoughts. And with that, Labor Day for many of us this year, it wasn't really worth celebrating. Now, here's some facts that I want to share with you. And for all my Black women out there, you definitely want to lean in. Because here at The Truth, we have a lot of male hosts. And I love male hosts. I love men in general. However, with that being said, we got to also lean in on some of the subject matters that are impacting our community as a whole, as well as specifically Black women. Now, in the spirit of talking about Labor Day, there have been nearly 320,000 Black women who have been bounced from the workforce in just the past 3 months, y'all. Just the past 3 months. Now, whether this was volunteered exit, demotion, or termination by the employer, in the past 3 months, this has been identified as a massive DE&I purge. Secondly, one of the reasons why Black women have bounced from the workforce is the higher tariffs on small businesses. We're going to get into that because there are still a significant amount of Black women that are entrepreneurs as hair salon or nail service salon owners. Finally, you've got a number of positions that are being automated. And Black women especially are being excluded from this influx of tech jobs. So when we hear about all these booming tech jobs, AI, cybersecurity, the share of Black women being recruited, being targeted, and actually being acquired for these roles is slim to none. And then you've got the share of Black women who, along with the Black population of this country, who have worked in federal government positions that have plunged nearly 33% over the past year. Then you have, and then we're going to go to break and come back because I want to definitely hear your thoughts because it's not just a job crisis for Black women. Our young Black workers are also stressed and they're also stranded. See, that's the thing. When we start to analyze and discuss crime, not just in this country, but in the city of Milwaukee, we all know that there has been a significant amount of news media coverage, podcasting, press conferencing, in terms of who do we point the finger at regarding the surge in violence in this community. So when we talk about Labor Day, and we talk about the fact that there are a lot of Black people in this country who are going through a significant job crisis. It was already a deficit to begin with. And so now we're going into another level, which is basically a job crisis for Black workers. So we're going to get into that. Whether you are a young professional, whether you are a Black woman, whether you are a Black man, there is currently a job crisis in this country. And we're going to get into that with facts, theories, and we definitely want to hear from you, Truth Nation. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. You are listening to your girl DT, backfilling for our beloved Professor Hughes. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Stay locked in. This is the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. We will be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
You clear to talk.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this.
Congratulations. Woo!
God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away.
Oh.
So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Fall in Milwaukee, where the air is crisp, the drinks are cold, and the good
you
times are just heating up. Stroll Milwaukee's lakefront and explore its parks as they burst into a kaleidoscope of golds, ambers, and reds. Raise the glass at a beer garden that feels like a neighborhood block party, Milwaukee style. And just as the temps fall, Brewers baseball is turning up the heat. October dreams are made right here. This season, every color, every cheer, every sip, it all comes together in Milwaukee. Craft your perfect getaway at visitmilwaukee.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yes. It was a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful night. Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass. Let's start it off sexy. What do you say? And all the ladies say.
With Sherwin Hughes, I am your guest host this morning. That's right. It's your girl DT. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I see you, Al. No, I'm sorry. I see you, Medee. Good morning. Not really a city girl. Good morning. I see y'all. Mr. Me, thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. And I'm just looking at our comments. This is why I love Truth Nation. Y'all be in the building. I love it. I love it. Now, here's the deal. Because a lot of us, we wasn't celebrating Labor Day like we usually do. Matter of fact, Ricky, did you go to any cookouts? I just realized folks wasn't cooking out like we used to. Is something going on? Did you go to a cookout, Ricky?
Nope, I didn't cook or go to a cookout. I took my kids to Wisconsin Dells. We left out Sunday and came back Monday, and I had to go to work. Well, not work like the radio station, but I had to DJ that night.
Huh? Because I'm just trying to think, did anybody go to a cookout?
I know a couple of my friends did, but me and the mother of my child been so busy this summer with work. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the kid. We didn't do the Dells or Six Flags. Normally we do Wisconsin Dells like 2-3 times in the summer, and in Six Flags at least once in the summer. And we didn't do none of that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take y'all to the Dells, and y'all can just ball out and have fun.
I love it. Well, I'm glad that y'all had a good Labor Day weekend. I'm just trying to figure out, are we not cooking out like we used to? Now, here's the thing, rightfully so. Rightfully so, Black folks, if we just did not feel like cooking or having a cookout this year. Because right now, from a labor standpoint, as we're coming off of Labor Day 2025, check these numbers out. And by the way, we all know men lie, women lie, numbers don't. In this country, the United States of America, where we're making this country great again, and I hope y'all heard my eyes roll, Black unemployment is rising. Our sisters, Black women, are being pushed out of the workforce at record levels. Young Black workers, so between the ages of 15 up to 25, are stuck in jobs with no stability and no safety net. Meanwhile, thank you for that, Ricky. Meanwhile, let's talk about the federal jobs. And for everyone who's listening, regardless of how you identify, this is the country that we are living in right now. Federal jobs where nearly 1 in 5 workers are Black. Now, before I get into the completing that sentence, first, let's understand that Black people in this country, and I'm going to do a fact check, but last time I checked, Black people in this country made up about 6% of the population. Now think about that. So out of every 100 Americans, only 6 of those are Black Americans. Now, nearly 1 in 5 federal workers are Black. So if Black federal workers are being gutted, contracts are being stripped, and we already know that DE&I was never really about Black people to begin with, but because of the dismantling and the conditioning that if you're Black, then you're a DE&I hire, and since DE&I is a bad thing, we don't need to be hiring Black folks. The fight for Black labor rights in this country has always been the fight for Black folks in this country. Slavery, which is currently being minimized by the current administration. Yeah, we are living in a country where certain individuals who have power have the audacity to minimize slavery. The very foundation of this country's wealth. People keep forgetting the United States of America was the sole provider of the largest consumed product in the world. Guess what that was? Yep, you got it, cotton. Which we picked. So yes, this country was built on the backs of slavery. Ancestors. And on top of that, you now have a leader that is literally taking control of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, which was owned and operated by the Smithsonian Institute. So everybody keep talking about disrespect. And no, this is a matter of erasing American history. Because when we talk about Labor Day and we talk about the current state of jobs in this country, and then we talk about the job crisis with Black folks in this country, this has been an ongoing battle. But let me just share with you some facts here. Now, before break, I focused on Black women. Over 320,000 Black women have been bounced from the workforce in the past 3 months. Based on analysis, the root cause, the massive DE&I purge, which again, I don't know why people associate Black people, brown people, people of color with DE&I, was never about us. The impact of higher tariffs on small businesses that hire Black women or that are owned and operated by Black women. Also, growing automation. And then the big one, because let me just say this right now, y'all. If you are seeking a lucrative employment opportunity, if you don't consider anything else, consider cybersecurity. Those types of jobs right now are most relevant, most necessary, and are paying. And make sure while you are earning your cybersecurity certification, in the meantime, you're building relationships with decision makers. And I'm going to leave it at that. It's always chess, y'all, never checkers. See, I've learned in this 49 years of being a Black woman in this country, it's important to have certain individuals advocating on your behalf. I didn't say allyship. See, allyship is what we always talk about. Ally. You know what allyship is? Allyship is, I voted for Barack Obama. I love Black people. Yes, I will have lunch with you. Advocacy is, I heard what you said, I saw what you did, and I'm not going to accept that. You need to make sure that you hire this person based on their merit, based on their experiences, based on their certification, and not exclude them based on the fact that they look a certain way and you associate that with a D&I hire. See, that's advocacy. Y'all feel me? There's a difference. You got to start making sure that you hold people accountable to being an advocate for you. Our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. Now, let me go ahead and run down the remaining of these facts, and then we're going to open up our Truth Talking text line. More than 518,000 Black women still have not returned to the workforce since COVID-19. The pandemic, which began over 5 years ago. Subsequently, the unemployment rate for Black women right now is right above 10%, double digits. Now, there's an economist named Katika Ray. And this person summarized the economic fallout from the employment crisis of Black women. And this quote, I just got to share this with y'all. When these women are pushed out of the workforce, entire families lose their economic foothold, threatening housing stability, consumer spending, and educational outcome for children. These are not isolated setbacks. They are systemic losses. And the shockwaves of Black women's job turmoil is just starting to be felt. When we come back, we're going to get into young Black workers. And if you do not identify as someone who is younger, so between the ages of 15 to 25, you more than likely either parent or know someone or relate to someone who was identified as a young worker. Now, we've been talking a lot here on The Truth about crime and violence in our community, in our city here in Milwaukee, and what's causing it. How do we reduce it? How do we solve it? When we come back, if we've got a population that includes young Black workers that are stressed and that feel stranded, rightfully so, I guarantee you that is a major factor in why you see crime increasing in this city. Let's get into it. 833-212-1017 is our Truth Talking text line. We come back, we want to hear from you, and I'm going to give you some more facts, some more information to process and digest as we continue to focus on our wellness, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, so that we can keep evolving in this thing called life, and in this thing where a world still carries the torch for inequality. Let's go. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes, your girl DT guest hosting. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Baby, let me explain to you what I'm saying.
What you saying?
It's not even like that.
It wasn't like that, but I saw you.
Baby, I don't love her.
You don't love me? You know what? I don't even want to talk to you.
She don't mean nothing to me.
I don't want to see your face.
She was just telling me.
I just want to see you walking through that door. There ain't nothing else to say.
Why we gotta do it like this? Baby, damn.
We're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are having a great start to this short week. It's already day 3, but it feels for a lot of us like either day 1 or day 2. So again, hope you are having a great week. Now, let me just get into some facts regarding the current Black unemployment crisis occurring in this country. Black unemployment has surged to 7.2% in this country compared to 3.7% for white workers. The compounded impact on Black women is that over 320,000 Black women have been forced out of the workforce in just the past 3 months. A lot of this has been attributed by the DE&I dismantling, or actually the purge, tariffs, automation, and exclusion from tech jobs. So those are the realities regarding the current Black unemployment crisis. We also had a number of federal job cuts where a significant number of Black workers are concentrated in terms of employment in this country. There have been, and I'm using this word without reservation, systemic attacks on Black leaders like Carla Hayden and Lisa Cook. Union contracts have been stripped. Our young Black workers are stressed, they're stranded, and they're facing higher unemployment than any other demographic in this country. So, Truth Nation, here's my question. And Ricky, I'm sure you heard this at some point in your life. We've always been told, see, this is where a lot of folks, they don't know about this. So I'm about to put y'all up, as we call it, on game. A number of us were conditioned to work twice as hard. Ricky, did you ever hear that? Hey, Ricky, as a Black man, you're going to have to work twice as hard to be able to get.
I heard it all my life. My grandpa,
all your life.
Father used to tell me that a lot.
What did he tell you?
That nothing's going to come easy to a Black man. Make sure you got your education and you're going to have to work twice as hard.
You see what I'm saying, Truth Nation? 833-212-1017. It is time to consider moving from this working twice as hard mentality, especially when we are living in a country that is basically redefining slavery, redefining what leadership looks like, redefining who should be considered as a qualified candidate. So I'm personally trying to move beyond this whole work twice as hard, because I've been seeing too many headlines, especially with Black men, that are dying at a young age. I'm talking like 45, 55, 56. We've been seeing Black men at young ages dying, not just due to violent crime, but because we have not prioritized our health and our purpose in our community. And so, to me, this has been a perfect opportunity to redefine how we obtain, pursue, and measure success. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting hustle. I hustle every day. I'm on the grind every day. However, I have redefined what that looks and feels like for me. 833-212-1017, our Truth Talking text line is open. Have you personally, Truth Nation, have you personally felt the effects of DE&I being stripped away, being purged? Have you felt the impacts from the new tariffs? Because a lot of Black business owners, especially that work in the service industry, especially those within the service industry that own hair salons. Because a lot of the supplies that are needed to operate an effective hair salon have now been impacted by the tariff. So there's a lot of effects of what's going on in this country as it relates to the unemployment crisis in Black America. So, Truth Nation, how are you navigating these challenges? And how have you personally felt the effects? Your voice is valuable. It deserves to be heard. And so we're going to get into that today. And again, I have not forgot about our young Black workers, because we're going to have to break this cycle of conditioning our young Black workers to work twice as hard because they've seen the effects. That's actually when a lot of people talk about younger workers and they say, oh, they entitled, oh, they lazy, oh, they don't want to work. Here's another reality that we keep discounting. They watched us keep our heads down, work 80 hours a week, to then have what? See, it's one thing for us to constantly condition our young people to work twice as hard. But we also have to be able to highlight the benefits of that. Because again, we've got a major crisis going on in this country. And everything is correlated. We got an increase in crime. We've got an increase in unemployment. All these things are related. Because if I'm not working, if I can't provide for myself, let alone for my family, I'm angry, I'm resorting to crime. Oh, by the way, my health is deteriorating. These are the things that are driven by intentional systemic racism. Our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017 as we are coming off of Labor Day. There is a huge crisis going on regarding Black employment in this country, and everybody is looking for somebody to blame, rightfully so, because when we're upset, we got to blame somebody. So speaking of that, we come back. Let's get into Milwaukee aldermen are weighing a new legislation, which includes calling police to testify about street takeovers. So let's get into that when we get back from break. Again, Milwaukee police have received calls all this past weekend regarding 15 different street takeovers. And leading officials are now considering, I should say, new legislation and enforcement strategies. We got a lot to digest and dissect, y'all. Stay locked in. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I am your guest host, DT, the Effective Communication Coach, and we'll be back with more. Stay locked in.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation. Join Truth to Power this Friday, September 5th at Steinhoffel's Menominee Falls from 12 to 1 p.m. The Labor Day sale is extended. Save 10% store-wide or get 36 months 0% financing with purchases over $1,999. And take part in the Test Rest promotion. Try any mattress, get a $20 lunch gift card, and Steinhafels donates $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin. And when you spend over $1,999, you'll get a $100 Packers gift card. See you Friday at Steinhafels.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Good morning, Truth Nation. What's going on, family? This is your girl, DT, guest hosting for our brother, Professor Hughes. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the award-winning 101.7. You already know it's Truth Nation. Our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I get it. Some of y'all like, that ain't Sherwin. Sherwin's good. He's going to be back. But in the meantime, you get your girl DT. And today we need to have a real talk about what's happening in our streets. I know. We've been talking about it a lot. But that seems to be what's happening a lot. And thank goodness that we have an award-winning Black talk radio station here in Milwaukee that's going to give you consecutive live Black talk radio. Now, let's get into this. Milwaukee aldermen are weighing new legislation to crack down on these so-called street takeovers. Now, some of y'all in the Truth Talking text line, the YouTube message board said Milwaukee last weekend was looking like Fast and Furious. And it was. Now, let's be clear. Nobody wants to see our neighborhoods turning into dangerous, for lack of better words, racetracks. We want our kids to make it home safe. We want to make it home safe. We want our elders to be able to sit on their porches without fear. I'm looking forward to the time in my life where I can just sit on the porch like my grandma did and just people watch. But here's the question, Truth Nation. Every time the answer is more policing, more laws, more punishment. Now, are we really solving the root issue? Or are we just repeating the same thing. And we all know the definition of insanity. Brian, good morning. Thank you for your patience. You are live with DT. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. What's your question or comment?
I have some comments about the reckless driving. Before we go over the cliff, before this whole city goes over the cliff about quote unquote violence and wayward behavior, we got to understand something. Fools rush in. Vampires only come in if you invite them in. When they said we had 20 block takeovers, I didn't see 20 videos of those 20 specific takeovers. I didn't see a report of all the streets. I didn't see 20 streets with 20 names saying that 20 streets were taken over. So for the media to come out and say it was 20 takeovers, I think they're just fanning the flames of stupidity and trying to create a narrative that's really not there. We may have had 1 or 2 takeovers, not 20. But I think they're saying they want to say it's 20 so they can do what they're doing now. Make the public scream, make 1 or 2 politicians scream that we need the National Guard in here.
Okay.
We don't need the National Guard unless they force their way in. If we invite them, they are never leaving. If we invite the National Guard and New World Order tactics, it is never going to stop. You can't invite them.
Well, Brian, we appreciate
but don't invite them.
We appreciate your call. Now, let me ask you this, Brian, because according to the news reports, and we're actually going to play a soundbite, but just to add some clarity, which is still going to support your point. So the news is reporting that the Milwaukee police received calls for at least 15 different street takeovers, which you're saying you only knew of 1. Okay. Valid question. All right. So Brian, thank you again for your call. Ricky, let's go ahead and go into this news report. So to Brian's point, Brian says, hey, don't believe the hype, because this could all be a part of conditioning our community to believe that this is a bigger deal than not. So let's take a listen to our friends over at WISN who reported about and I'm doing the air quotes, y'all, street takeovers that occurred just this past weekend. And this footage that you're going to either hear or see if you're streaming live on our YouTube channel, we got the video we're about to play, is on 6th and Clybourne Street and happened over the past weekend. Check this out.
New tonight, calls for Milwaukee police to testify in front of Milwaukee's Common Council after this street takeovers causing chaos this weekend. Burnouts, donuts, fireworks all filled 15 intersections across the entire city. Now, this was the scene early Sunday at 6th and Clybourne, and that is where we find investigative reporter James Stratton, where the aftermath, James, is pretty much still visible.
And Deanna, you can still see fireworks as well as tire tracks here in the intersection at 6th and Clybourne. Now, council members plan to call into police to testify about how many officers they need to respond to these street takeovers and ultimately how to stop them.
All right, now, let's pause right there, Ricky. We just heard from Brian, one of our valued Truth Nation listeners and viewers, bring up a good point. It's a valid point. Were there really 15 different street takeovers? That's the first question. Because according to this report, Milwaukee police received calls for at least 15 different street takeovers. Is that accurate? And this was just over the weekend. So as a result, you have Alderman Scott Spiker, who is the chair of the city's Public Safety and Health Committee, who described the situation. He's calling this a situation. He's calling the police to testify about the street takeovers calling this situation, and I quote, ridiculous and a serious breach of public safety. So Alderman Scott Spiker is calling police and the city attorney's office to testify, y'all, about their strategy to stop takeovers. These are his words, not mine, y'all. In addition, he's asking that the Milwaukee Police Department, the Milwaukee police officers, include how many officers are responding and how many are needed. Now, our listener, Brian, and I'm rubbing my eyes here because now that he said that, number one, Brian was like, really? 15, 20? I didn't see that. Number two, it's kind of interesting how this is all coming up during the same time where Milwaukee is one of the cities that is being described as needing National Guard or military boots on the ground. Again, Brian, he brings up a good point. Now, Common Council President Jose Pearce has pushed for legislation, including in this legislation, a $500 fine for anyone involved in a street takeover, including spectators. The legislation was put on hold in mid-June while Pearce consulted with the city's attorney's office and trying to figure out if this would be enforceable and constitutional. Well, first, I'm trying to understand, how do we define street takeovers? Because over the past weekend, just here in Milwaukee, police officers arrested 3 people, towed 6 vehicles, and issued 26 citations. So 26 citations for weekend street takeovers. And Chief Jeffrey Norman, who gave WISN 12 an exclusive interview just this past Monday, and I quote, said, "We will continue to cite you. We will continue to arrest you. We will continue to intervene as much as possible because it will not be tolerated in our city." So with this new legislation being proposed to crack down on these so-called street takeovers, how are we feeling? Because basically what I saw, I've seen this happen in all different types of communities. Now, while we're talking about legislation, I'm still trying to understand why we're not further analyzing what makes young people do this. Do they feel unseen? Do they feel unheard? Do they feel as though there's nothing to do in the city of Milwaukee for us? You know, you've got a lot of young, creative people in this city of Milwaukee. And they've got a lot of energy combined with frustration because their creative juices, I'm so serious, y'all. Creative people do not thrive in structured, controlled environments. And if we don't have an outlet accessible to these young people, and they're continuing to feel unseen, unheard, unvalued, combined with not being hired, we got to dig in this together, y'all. Because for me, are new laws really a solution? If I'm feeling unseen, unheard, unvalued, I don't have anything to do, I'm taking care of my siblings, there's no job programs, there's no youth initiatives as far as I'm concerned, there's no safe space where I can go and just enjoy being a young person. Because see, a lot of us, we're quick to say back in my day or when, yeah, that's great. But back in our day is not what's going on in their current day. Community safety is not associated with over-policing. And when we come back from break, what does a street takeover mean? Why are young people doing this? And do you agree or not that it's all because of these lack thereof recreational outlets, lack of employment, and even affordable spaces where people can just have a safe, fun time? Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. We're going to continue dissecting community safety over policing or versus over policing, along with what are we really doing to solve the root cause of this? Or are we going to just keep repeating the same cycle? We're going to get into that when we get back. Stay locked in. This is the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I am your guest host, DT, the Effective Communication Coach. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
Be careful of the decisions that you make and the company that you keep, because that is going to determine a certain consequence. So you don't have to wait to go to prison, or you don't have to wait to figure it out what the consequences may be. All you got to do is look at your decision making and who you allow in your space. If they making wild decisions, wild things gonna happen. But you don't get to choose what wild things are gonna happen.
Catch the Tori Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the debut of Forward Together for Kids, a monthly conversation with real talk about K-12 education in Milwaukee. We'll tackle tough issues and make sure you're informed about everything happening from the State House to the schoolhouse that affects kids' education. Brought to you by City 4 Collective, a local nonprofit working to ensure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family. Again, that is Forward Together for Kids this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
host filling in for Sherwin. It's your girl DT, the effective communication coach. I really, truly hope that y'all are having a great week. Yes, you. Yes, you. Yep, I'm talking to you. You, yes, you. I hope you are having a great week. You deserve it. There's power and potential, y'all. I just thought I'd throw that out there. And we have been dissecting the unemployment crisis going on in this community, in our community as Black and brown folks. How'd we get here? What are some of the impacts and results of unemployment, especially as we're talking about young folks? Our young workers are feeling unseen, unheard, unvalued. They're like, we ain't got nowhere to go, so we're going to just create our own space, which has resulted in what has been classified as street takeovers. Are new laws the solution? Are police the answer? Or should the city be just as aggressive about funding safe spaces, job programs, and youth initiatives as they are about cracking down on crime? We got a lot of callers calling in right now, so let's go straight to our Truth Talking text line, 833-212-1017. Red, you are up next. You're live with DT. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. With your question or comment?
Okay, God bless you. But let me tell you something right now. You talking about, okay, they ain't got nowhere to go. Hey, let me tell you something right now. When you don't want to do what's right, but you find time to do something stupid, like go in the middle of the street and interrupt the flow of traffic, but you can find time to smoke dope every day. Most of these kids, I don't know what neighborhood y'all stay in the Black neighborhood, most of the kids I see, they find time to beg for money. Okay, they find time to be drunk and to go get up. Oh, what am I going to do this morning? I need to go get my ID, but I'm going to go down to the corner store. I'm going to go buy me some alcohol. I'm going to smoke me some dope. Okay, but you find time to do that. Okay, that guy don't know what he's talking about. Those are documented GPS monitoring imagery on there. Those people was doing that. These young people are spoiled, and they want to do what they want to do. They wearing clothes that could pay your rent. What more can you do? Have you ever had a spoiled child? I'm asking you.
Have I ever had a spoiled child? No, I didn't raise my children to be spoiled. I raised my children to appreciate having nice things, but yeah.
Yeah, everybody had a spoiled child. You every other child growing up with a big family. Everybody had a child that did what they told them to do, but that one spoiled child is bad. I've seen my mother kicked out one of my family members, but she kept kicking him out, and he straightened up a little later on.
Well, Red, let me ask you this. First, for our listeners, let's understand, how do you define a spoiled child? That's the most important thing. How do you see or define a spoiled child?
Okay, that's good too. Listen, a spoiled child is someone that grows up that refuses to do what their parents tell them to do. Then they take it on with this miscarriage behavior to school. They disrupt their class members, and they keep on with this behavior, but other people come to their rescue. You know what I mean? See, when we were growing up, you didn't give a spoiled child. You fed them, you took care of them, but you didn't give them the things that the other kids. See, the other kids are looking at the spoiled child. They're looking at them like, hey, they get everything. How come they get everything and we doing everything what's right? Y'all trying to protect them. Listen, let the National Guards come here. Let them come here. When they shoot little kids, they kill
Red, let him go. No. All right, Red. I got some other callers, but thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate your call, Red. We got security, Mike. Yeah, okay. Man, I'm telling y'all, the Truth Talking text line is blowing up. 833-212-1017 about this street takeover, and I'm doing the air quotes. Security, Mike, thank you so much for your patience, for holding. You are live with TT on Truth with Sherwin Hughes. What is your question or comment?
Hey, how you doing, DT? Yeah, those troops are coming here because Trump not going to release that Fed money to FEMA for the flood victims. He's not going to do both. So that's going to be his excuse. They're going to come here. They're really not needed, but then they're needed in some shape or form. We don't want them here that long because the winter's approaching. And as far as, a lot of sisters, a lot of young brothers are losing jobs, and some of these young brothers don't want to work, but the more poverty, the more crime. It's going to be more crime. The people losing their jobs, the frustration is going to set in, and that type of stuff is going to lead to more crime. So, the truth's out coming, mark my word, because he's not going to want to give up that Fed money to FEMA for the flood victims. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Security Mike. Appreciate you as always. Security Mike said, look, it goes both ways. If you want a job, you got to apply. You got to want to work. The town you've been holding, thank you so much for your patience. We love and appreciate you. What is your question or comment? Because you are live with DT on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes.
How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Like it's very great. Good morning to you. It sounds real funny style that, you know what I'm saying, the best people that we can find to answer this question is the people that they just fired. I just want to throw that out there right fast because those young people. And we could have had a good insight on what the young people are thinking if we would have had them employed. Just want to throw that out there. Number two, don't we the county stadium? Don't we pay for the county stadium?
Do we pay, our taxes pay for the county stadium? Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
That you are correct.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct.
Don't our taxes pay for the county fair and the county fair state grounds?
The state fair, yes, those are all funded and supported, and not solely, but yes, our tax dollars do go towards those entities. Yes.
Boom, right there. That's something right there. Okay, just say that the Brewers is there, right? And okay, the Brewers might be like, I don't want some people messing up my lot because I have business there. Now that's fair, but for the state fair, all except for like I don't know what a few weeks through the year, who is using the county fair? That's a good space where we can have the kids roll up in there, play with their cars, do the spin around in a safe environment. And then even with the police, if the police want to go do their surveillance or whatnot like that, then they can do their surveillance right there. You know, it seems like a win-win situation. And then it gets the kids off the streets doing these street takeovers. I don't think they are bad. I ain't going to lie about that. The street takeovers is bad because you can't be traffic like that. That is an inherent risk to true. However, we do have these spaces that we can get these kids together. Why aren't they using?
I agree with you.
They can use they can use it.
Yeah, I agree with you. The town,
or they can party. They can. One last thing too. They can use it to learn how to drive.
Thank you so much, the town. Look, y'all, we are feeling this subject matter, and rightfully so, because there is a lot to dissect in terms of what is it going to take in this city. Now, Al, I know you've been holding for a while, and I don't want to have to cut you off because you always have very thought-provoking and thought-stimulating suggestions and comments. So, Al, we're going to take a break. When we come back, wait a minute. No, actually, we can go to you, Al, because I got 2 minutes. So, Al, you've got 2 minutes. Thank you for your patience. We're talking about the street takeover here in Milwaukee. What is your question or comment? You are live.
Well, my first thing I said, I'm surprised that black people ain't started while they was screaming DEI, which was never us. Why they didn't scream DDI, didn't deserve it. Because a lot of them racist, uncouth white folks don't deserve the positions they're got. Number two, when it comes to the street takeovers, why is some of these parents say, hey, you want to get out in these streets?
let me send you to school to be a NASCAR driver so you can do it the right way. Why it can't be a give and take situation? Because see, if you give something to somebody, they will never appreciate it. So how about we make it an incentive and give them incentive? If you do this and maybe get your license, you can do your stuff at the stadium or wherever they decide to put you. Or what if you say, well, if you do this, let's try to educate your mind so you can learn how to be a pilot, and on your free time. You have to stimulate the mind. You can't just give them something because if you give it to them, they will never appreciate it. It's like you're trying to help somebody who always say they're trapping. No, you're trapping because you choose to trap because you choose not to go to work. So now your stomach coming out your back. So if I continue to feed you, you will never appreciate it. So I think it should be a give and take thing.
All right.
This stuff can happen. And one more thing, DT. You don't need no white man to clean your house. And these people talking about let the white man come. The white man is coming because you want him to clean your house. Don't no white man got to clean my house. And that's why we as black people are effed up, because y'all always want that white man to clean your house. And this house ain't never been clean. Like RFK, he telling you how to be healthy, and he don't know how to do nothing except shoot up heroin and use up all the SOS pass and steal wool. And he telling you how to be healthy. The hell? Have a good day.
Well, there you have it. Al, once again, thank you for your call. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we are talking about legislators and lawmakers passing new laws that feel like more policing in our neighborhoods. Is this going to safely generate more safety and more community, or is this going to just make it even worse? We want to hear from you. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm your guest host, DT, the Effective Communication Coach. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this.
Congratulations. Woo! God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away. Aww. So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. We are nearly 1 million strong and growing stronger every day. Join us on Saturday, October 11th at 8 a.m. at Summerfest Southgate as we come together for the Making Strides of Milwaukee Walk. Whether you walk for a survivor, in the memory of a loved one, or to support the American Cancer Society, you bring us closer to a future free from breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country right here in Milwaukee? Sign up for free today at www.makingstrideswalk.org/MilwaukeeWI.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025, 10:17 a.m. Central Standard Time. Wherever you are in the world listening, we love and appreciate you tuning in. You can stream and watch me live as I am your guest host for this morning, filling in for Professor Hughes, DT, the effective communication coach. Man, Truth Nation, y'all not playing this morning. The Truth Talking text line has been blowing up. We got callers right now waiting to chime in as we've been discussing the crisis that Black Americans are facing in this country, in particular unemployment. And as we know, anytime that you see a community suffering from unemployment, you also see an increase or a spike in violent crimes. And in this particular unemployment crisis, Black women and young Black workers are being impacted the most. Now, over the past weekend, Labor Day weekend, there were a number of reports regarding, and I'm doing this, the air quotes, y'all, street takeovers in the city of Milwaukee. And one in particular was highlighted on the corner of 6th and Claiborne Street. So why do you think young people are risking their lives for these street takeovers and these hit and runs and this reckless driving? And if you had the city's budget in your hands, would you put more money into police crackdowns or community programs? Because right now, Milwaukee, absolutely 101.7 The Truth needs to find a way to transform this, and I'm just going to use the word culture, into something that is safe and positive instead of criminals. Because in the words of the great Joe Clark from Lean On Me, if you treat them like animals in a cage, that's exactly how they're going to act. Let's go to our Truth Talking text line, 833-212-1017. Ron, call back if you can, but we still have Al from Sherman Park. But Ron, if you can call back, we'll take you immediately. Al, you are live. Al from Sherman Park. You are live with DT. What is your question or comment?
Hey, Denise. These kids are wilding, and these aren't poor little Black kids, because I've seen some of these cars. They're nicer than what I got. These aren't little hoopties rusted out with mismatched doors. These are some nice, like, Dodge Hemis. They're out here in the street doing these tricks that they see on the movies from Tokyo Drift. But this is just another form of reckless driving from people saying they don't care about the public. They know they outnumber the police, so they're spoiled in that regard. So I can't say that these kids are unemployed when you look at these cars. So let's stop giving them that excuse. But I think Milwaukee has reached the point where we are tired of the youth just running us over, shooting us up, disrespecting their elders. The elder can't say nothing to these kids without getting cussed out or shot at.
Well, Al from Sherman Park, let me ask you a question. Because we keep talking about what the kids or the young people aren't doing, what they are doing. So how did they get here? Because one of my favorite Japanese proverbs is a student who hasn't learned has a teacher who has not taught. So who do we hold accountable, and how do we get to a solution? Because we keep talking about young people this, young people that. Okay, well, how do we fix it?
So we built them up so much that, and I think it was the white liberal teachers who told her, "Oh, you're poor, black, and oppressed, but you don't have to listen to anybody. You don't have to engage in civil rules of society. You can do what you want because you're poor, black, and oppressed." We got to stop that because these kids.
Wait a minute, hold on, Al from Sherwin Park. Hold on. Say that again. You said there's white liberal teachers that were teaching black kids to what? Say that again, because I don't think I understood that correctly.
To really be disobedient and not follow the rules of society and do anything you want to because you were poor, black, and oppressed.
How do you know this?
It's just a general attitude that you see, and it'll be the white ones
that
are defending them.
Because I've never heard black. Hold on, Al from Sherwin Park. I've never heard a young, and I mentor and coach a number of young black students, young black workers, and when I've asked them, from your lens, how did we get here? I have never heard, and I'm asking Al, but I've never heard anyone say that identifies as a young black American that they were taught by their white liberal teacher to just be frivolous and cavalier about their approach to life.
So you saw what happened in 2020 with the Black Lives marches, and they just basically coming up in the face of the police, standing there daring to do something, almost wanting to spit in their face, throw bottles and rocks at them rather than see them as authority trying to keep order. And then you had the little white kids coming from the suburbs thinking it was their time to loot and burn down our stores. I heard that the Walgreens at King Drive was now closed down. Now, where are the black people who need their drugs going to go and get their pharmaceuticals? They got to go a mile out their way because some kids decided to be disruptive and overpower the police and overpower the authority in the city. We're tired of it. And save the pity party and stop giving them leniency. And Lena Taylor can go right with them to lock them up, take them out to God knows where, and sit them out there as segregated from society until they know how to act better.
So Al from Sherwin Park, again, I'm going to ask you, because I want to stay with the first question. How do you know, or where did you establish that white liberal teachers are the reason why these kids engage in violence and crimes because they were conditioned by white liberal teachers to just be cavalier and frivolous about life? That's what I'm trying to understand, because that's a powerful statement.
Did you not watch it the whole summer? Did you not watch teachers out there protesting with the kids?
We're not talking Al from Sherwin Park. Now remember, I am a professional debater, so choose your questions. We're not talking about me, because what you're doing right now is deflecting. I'm asking you, because you made a powerful statement, whether it's a fact or a feeling. You said, I asked, what's the solution? And you said, well, first let's start with the white liberal teachers that have conditioned black students. And then you went on to correlate that with protesting during Black Lives Matter. So I'm trying to understand, based on what you said, not me. I'm asking you the question based on what you said. How does that happen? I've never heard that before. So where are you getting that from?
Well, I actually knew of an educator that would go out there and take the 14-year-olds and show them how to go out and march and show people that if you were in large enough groups that you could get your way and disobey society and take over the streets. So Black Lives Matter took over the streets.
Okay, so now we're going from one educator out of the millions that educate students, including black students in the country. So you're basing that on one experience with one educator. Okay, now that helps me understand. Thanks so much for your call, Al from Sherwin Park. Because again, I was like, I have never heard that, but he's basing that on one experience. Okay, well, thank you so much, Al from Sherwin Park. We appreciate you listening and tuning in as always. On our Truth Talk and Text line, Melisande, if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, please forgive me. It is a mistake from the mind and not the heart. Says, why give them illegal things to do? I say put them in jail. Shadio on our Truth Talk and Text line, which again is 833-2 212-1017 says, DT, the solution to all of these issues is to find a way to keep the kids engaged at home. The kids have too much idle time at hand to do nothing. Going back to what the parents are teaching their kids is the key to unlock the majority of our problems. The Bible says to teach the kids as they grow so that when they grow up, they'll not depart from it. Thank you, Shadio, for your comment. You know what? I would really appreciate, I know a lot of our younger people are in class right now. So I don't want to ask any of our younger listeners, if they are listening, to leave class. I would really, at this point, really appreciate hearing from one of our younger listeners. If there's anybody who, maybe if you're 25, 22, 21, and you are on a break or you're at home studying, whatever, please call in, because we need to hear from some of our young people. Because we have a lot of adults and older people that are providing what they think that are solutions. So we definitely want to hear from you. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, young people, where are y'all? Call in. Call in and let us know from your lens what you need. Because right now, the Milwaukee lawmakers, the Milwaukee police chief, and the Milwaukee police officers, unless you speak up, they're going to implement ways to increase citations, increase arrests. Oh yeah, it's about to get real. So what do we really need to do, young people? What do we really need to do? Because here's the reality, and I'm going to provide more facts on this. Did you realize, Truth Nation, that there are cities in this country that have turned street racing cultures or street takeovers, however you want to classify them, into organized, safe, revenue-generating events instead of implementing criminal charges? There are cities that do that. When we come back, we're going to get into that. Also, during our remaining hour and a half, we've got some more hot topics to get into, including, there is, speaking of things to do, a new public library here in Milwaukee opening up on Martin Luther King Drive. It opens up this weekend. It has been viral, going all over social media. And that is something that I would encourage people to also reintroduce or introduce to the young people. Because I stayed in the library. And we're going to talk about ways that the library can actually be fun and engaging. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I am your guest host, filling in for Professor Hughes. This is your girl DT, the effective communication coach. When we come back, let's continue to get into it. Young people, let me hear from you, please. 833-212-1017.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Steinhoffels has extended their Labor Day sale, and they're celebrating the start of the Green Bay Packers season. Right now, save 10% off store-wide or choose 36 months, 0% financing. Plus, you'll score an $100 Packers gift card when you spend over $19.99. But hurry, this is your last chance for Labor Day savings on all the best mattress brands with up to 60 months, 0% financing. Steinhoffels, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Shop in-store or online anytime at steinhoffels.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Marquette University High School football lives here. Catch all the action of Hilltoppers football on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Hilltoppers are back in action this Friday on the road against the Brookfield Central Lancers. Join our coverage on The Truth starting at 6:30 p.m. with the Hilltoppers pregame show, leading up to kickoff at 7 p.m. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Left's Lucky Town, CJ Schmidt, Capital Insurance Agency, Boyle Fredrickson, Annex Wealth Management, Magic Productions, and Burghardt Sporting Goods.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Kyle Walls, and I'm coming through with something special for lucky fans. Tacos and Tequila Fest is going down Saturday, September 13th at Franklin Field. Enjoy your favorite throwback hits with performances by Lil Jon, Pretty Ricky, B.O.B., Trina, and more. This event is strictly 21 and up, so leave the kiddos at home and get ready to vibe out. And guess what? We've got your chance to win free tickets to the hottest fest of the year right here on 101.7 The Truth. We'll be giving away tickets to lucky callers, so make sure you tune in for your chance to win tickets to Tacos and Tequila Fest Milwaukee.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them: epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready-to-act.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Good morning. Hi. How you doing? What's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. You are listening to Truth with Sherwin Hughes. This is your guest host, DT, the Effective Communication Coach. Want to give you a huge good morning, and I hope that your hump day is off to a good start. Ricky, it's been a minute since I checked in with you. How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, trying to make you sound good on your end, doing my thing.
I so appreciate you. How am I sounding? Because I got this beautiful new mic.
What they call you, brown sugar?
They call me brown. Wait a minute. What was the brown sugar? Something else. Look, I tell you all the time. You can give me a compliment. I appreciate it. I'm not one of these women who don't appreciate a compliment. Okay, I love them. I embrace them, and I appreciate compliments. So thank you, Ricky. Thank you for that. Shoot, I need encouragement. Speaking of encouragement, we have been dissecting crime increasing here in Milwaukee, in the country. Man, it's just so much stuff going on, y'all. And especially as Black folks, it's like every time. But you know what? I was thinking about something, Ricky, because I was traveling yesterday. Imagine that. And I saw this billboard as I was walking throughout the airport. And one of the words on the billboard that stood out to me, I didn't even know what was being advertised, but the word resilient was on this billboard. And Ricky, I thought, what does that mean to me? Because I'm actually tired of being resilient. I'm tired of always having to work twice as hard just to then be treated as though I'm not valued once I get in the door. And I thought about if I were part of a group of people that from day one had intentions to destroy my sense of worth, my ability to thrive, yet that group still keeps winning, I'd be mad too. Because, there's so much efforts to limit the growth, the prosperity, the increase, the generational wealth within our community. There are so many intentions to limit us. But yet we still, which if you think about the word resilience, there's a similarity with Rise. And it just in that moment, I had to remind myself that no matter how many efforts every day, and even more so with this new administration, are designed to limit us, to dismantle us, to erase us, we still keep rising. And that says a lot about our power. Because I can't think of any other community in this world, and I'm using the word think intentionally, I can't think of any other community in this world that day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, century after century, are navigating constantly intentional systemic limitations and yet still rising, still showing up. We got a lot that we deal with. And so when we talk about violence and we talk about our young people and we talk about, we were young too, our elders said the same thing about us. Now, before break, I invited some of our younger listeners. LaRon on our YouTube message board said, young people ought to be in school. Why are you asking them to call? LaRon, if you were effectively listening, if you were actively listening, I did say younger people that are in school, please. And if you're listening, you should be in class. But if you happen to be a younger person that's in college in between school breaks or class breaks, or you may not be in school right now, they have a right to be heard. 833-212-1017. Because we've been literally on young people. A lot of it has to do with what is there to do. Now, before I get into the cities that actually have embraced street driving or street takeovers, however you want to call it, street racing, there are cities in this country that have actually turned it into an organized revenue generating structure. Because what's that saying? If you can't beat them, join them. Now, before I get into that, Milwaukee, I've got a great announcement for you. And this goes directly with what is there to do? Well, I'm about to give y'all an announcement, and it's not just about another building opening in our city. This is about opening, and if you lean in and if you really understand the power of this opening, because this opening, if we allow it, Truth Nation, can serve as a portal to possibility. That's why I love libraries, and I stayed in libraries growing up as a child. Libraries are a portal to possibility. They give us access to our history. They encourage and provoke creativity, and most importantly, community. My mom would drop me off at the library and be like, go be great. Now, I know some of y'all already are like, these kids aren't trying to go to a library. Well, with that attitude, no, they won't. Now, this Saturday, September the 6th, 2025, right where King Drive meets Locust, the new Martin Luther King Jr. branch of the Milwaukee Public Library is going to open its doors this Saturday. Now, when we think about library, of course, we think about books. But again, this is a bold statement of what our neighborhoods deserve. We don't need another liquor store opening up. We don't need another gas liquor store opening up by people who don't even know what it's like. See, y'all gonna get me started. Libraries is part of what our neighborhoods deserve. Now, this new branch is going to include 3D printers. Y'all stay with me because I had mentioned Creativity. A lot of these young people, they're creatives, and they do not have safe spaces to demonstrate their creativity. This new library, it's going to not just have books. It's going to have 3D printers. It's going to have podcast gear. So that means there'll be places in that library where young creatives who are right now podcasting, they could do that at this library. See, this is what our neighborhoods deserve. They're using green, yes. This new library is going to be using green energy systems. There's going to be studios. And guess what? Right above the library, you're going to have an apartment residency with 93 flats or apartments. So this whole area, this neighborhood with this new library and all the amenities that come with it, see, this is where we have truly places where we can eat, sleep, play, live. It gives us a safe space for our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And I got to give a shout out to the architect by the name of Moody Nolan, because this library is what we call state-of-the-art architecture. So please do not say there is nothing to do. Now, we got a clip of the opening of this library. Check it out, because again, this library is not just a state-of-the-art architecture, but it's got so many dope amenities. If you don't believe me, check this out.
Tonight, a first look inside the reimagined MLK Library in the city's Harambe neighborhood. The new development will feature 42 apartments above the library. Below in the corner of MLK and Locust, it will officially open Saturday. During construction, the driver crashed into the building during a police chase in January. You can see that on the right side of your screen. Organizers say they added bump outs and planters outside to keep everyone safe.
There it is. Bam, bam. That's the word we need, safe. So again, this library, in all seriousness, and 101.7 The Truth, this library, it is going to be filled with history, and it's also going to be filled with amenities, rooms, spaces, technologies that are going to get us ready for tomorrow, future readiness. So please, tell all of the young people, all of our young artists, all of our future leaders, our storytellers, our young community activists, and even those that may not associate with those categories but are just looking for a place where they can go and meet other young people and be safe. Library. Because what you can't do is point the finger at young people, and we here at The Truth, we are giving you the keys to where there is a literally brand new portal to possibility, history, creativity, and community. Spread the word. Again, this Saturday, September the 6th, on King and Locust. So where King Drive meets Locust, right there on the corner, this Saturday, the Milwaukee Public Library is going to open up the new Martin Luther King Jr. branch of the Milwaukee Public Library. And again, it's going to come with 3D printers, podcast gear, green energy systems. Sign me up. Sign me up. So please make sure that if you can, go out to the Milwaukee Public School Library grand opening. We come back from break. We're going to wrap up our second hour and get ready for our third and final hour of Truth with Sherwin Hughes. This is your guest host for the day, or not for the day, but for the next hour. DT, the Effective Communication Coach. Appreciate you listening. You can call us in right now. Send us your text. Call in 833-212-1017. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this
Congratulations.
money.
Woo!
God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away.
Oh.
So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
Fall in Milwaukee, where the air is crisp, the drinks are cold, and the good times are just heating up. Stroll Milwaukee's lakefront and explore its parks as they burst into a kaleidoscope of golds, ambers, and reds. Raise a glass at a beer garden that feels like a neighborhood block party, Milwaukee style. And just as the temps fall, Brewers baseball is turning up the heat. October dreams are made right here. This season, every color, every cheer, every sip, it all comes together in Milwaukee. Craft your perfect getaway at visitmilwaukee.org.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey. You don't have to say a word. That was the jam, Ricky.
Yeah, I grew up listening
Rude
to
Boys.
That was my mama's favorite song.
Oh, that was a hit. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, that was written all over your face by Rude Boys, which is a group founded by, rest in peace, Gerald Levert. That song, if I remember correctly, that song was number 1 on the R&B charts for a minute. See, that's when they had like Video Soul Top 20 with Donnie Simpson. His fine self. Man, I actually met him. This was probably, 2025? Shoot, this is probably about 10 years ago. That brother looked exactly the same. I was like, oh my God.
I'm about to say, yeah, he don't look like he aged. Him and Pharrell, I don't think they aged at all.
Man, what water is Pharrell drinking? I just think, you know what? I just think Pharrell is one of those people who just literally lives a peaceful life. No drama, doesn't let anything affect him. And I guarantee you that's one of the key attributes to his youthness. I mean, that brother looks the same way he did when he was back in, what was the group? Neptunes. Yeah, Neptunes, Nerd, yeah. He looks the exact same. So, speaking of keeping our peace, we've been talking a lot today about the state of Black America, in particular unemployment crisis with our Black women and our young Black workers, as well as military presence, National Guard presence here in Milwaukee. All these things are correlated. And what we try to do here, Truth Nation, and thank you again for everyone who has called in with their thoughts, their feelings. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. And as we're wrapping up our second hour, and we're going to get into our third and final hour for Truth with Sherwin Hughes, I got to remind us that there are spaces here in the city where we can direct our young people as it relates to creativity, connecting, reflecting. This Saturday, September the 6th, the new Martin Luther King branch of the Milwaukee Public Libraries is opening up. Now, this is kind of a reopening because it replaces the original MLK branch that closed in May of 2023. And so this is updating one of our proud 50-year legacies in the Harambe community. And Moody Nolan Architects, which is the largest Black-owned architecture firm in the United States, designed this space, honoring Dr. King through intentional light, color, art, and shared spaces. So you have to, if you have not already, just go online, take a look at it. I'm on Milwaukee.com, so www.onmilwaukee.com, and you can see where there is a portrait of Martin Luther King Jr., giant MLK letters at the entrance, and a memorial inside, which really brings meaning to this architect. And again, this is a Moody Nolan Architect building, which is the largest Black-owned architecture firm in the U.S. There will be spaces inside of the library with 3D printing, podcasting, and audio digital studios. This is why it's important to share this with our young people. This is obviously a public space, no cost. It is 1,800 square feet of community rooms for gatherings, cultural expression, and the zones in the library, this is what I love. They're inspired by King's values. So you may have a yellow space in the library that's known as the connection space. You have blue and gray areas that are known as the reflection areas. So this is such an incredible space. And not only is the inside where it's at, on the outside, there are solar panels. There's geothermal heating and cooling, a green roof, spaces for electric vehicles, which is obviously going to help cut down energy costs and model sustainability. And it's just going to be incredible space. So again, please share this information with others, especially those that parent or young people that you know, because part of what young people need is to have a safe space where they can see other people that look like them, that they can relate with, and be great. So again, the Milwaukee Public Library is opening the MLK Branch Library this Saturday, September the 6th, on the corner of MLK and Locust. Great facility. I'll be back in Milwaukee in a few weeks. So that's going to be one of the first places that I visit when I come back to what I consider home. When we come back for our final hour, we want to hear from you, Truth Nation. We've got a number of hot topics. I got to get into this really quick, y'all. Did anybody did you happen to see the Jussie Smollett documentary on Netflix? And for those that haven't, I don't want to give it away, but I'm just going to give some highlights in terms of what we think we knew. There was obviously more to that. Also, over the weekend, I watched the Hurricane Katrina documentary, also on Netflix, as just this past weekend, I think it was August 30th, was the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina hitting and basically destroying the black neighborhoods in New Orleans, Louisiana. So that and other hot topics. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the engagement. I see you on the YouTube message board. I see you, Madi. I see you, Al. We got a lot of action going on, so stay locked in. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. This is your guest host for the day, DT, the effective communication coach. 833-212-1017 is our Truth Talk and text line. We want to hear from you. Your voice is valuable and it deserves to be heard. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the debut of Forward Together for Kids, a monthly conversation with real talk about K-12 education in Milwaukee. We'll tackle tough issues and make sure you're informed about everything happening from the State House to the schoolhouse that affects kids' education. Brought to you by City 4 Collective, a local nonprofit working to ensure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family. Again, that is Forward Together for Kids this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
The biggest snowflakes out here have always been the white Republicans, who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Nope, the other way.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes.
There you go. Now move. Now don't move your camera, but move your body to the right.
At 1017thetruth.com.
Perfect.
Good morning. It is the final hour of Truth with Sherwin Hughes. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Let me put some respect on my brother Sherwin's title. I'm your guest host, DT, the effective communication coach. And in this final hour, I am excited and thrilled to be joined by none other than Truth Nation Your brother from another mother, Kyle Wallace. Good morning, Kyle.
What up, DT? I'm glad. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome and introduction. I got the claps and the horns. How you doing, Miss DT, the effective communication coach?
You better say it like you know it. I'm doing great. No complaints.
That's
no
good.
complaints at all.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. What you been talking about today?
Man, Truth Nation has been on fire. We've been talking about the state of Black America. Once again, we are navigating through an unemployment crisis. Anytime you've got, as we talked about, Kyle, anytime you got a city, and there are many cities in this country that are experiencing violence, spikes in crime, because whenever you have a community that is trying to break through the limits of systemic racism, including unemployment, of course violence is going to increase. Because if I'm out here applying for employment and I'm constantly being rejected or constantly being told we're going in a different direction, not because I wasn't qualified or not because my background check didn't pan out, but simply because I've been labeled as a DE&I hire and therefore I'm not eligible for employment. Yeah, you're going to see a spike in crime because I can't eat. I can't provide for my family. I can't even provide for myself. Is it right? Absolutely not. But it's the reality. And so with that, we've also been talking about how do we support our young people? Because our young people, man, they are also feeling unsafe, unvalued, unheard. And a lot of people are trying to determine, do we put this in the hands of our elected officials, our legislators, our lawmakers, our police department? Or do we start taking things back into our own hands? So that, in a nutshell, is what we've been talking about.
The black unemployment one is that gets me. I talked about it about 2 weeks ago because the one thing that you even said with the DE&I is the fact that a lot of those jobs, because people talk about, yes, there are a lot of white women and a lot of other folks who are not black who benefit from that. But when we look at those who are losing their jobs, it is impacting a lot of specifically black women. So when we talk about this unemployment rate in the black community, we do have to understand that negatively impacts us because not just from a, crime factor, because we know when you don't have employment, crime does go up, but we're talking about a mental health factor. We're talking about the stress on a family. We're talking about the fact that when somebody now goes home, imagine this in a household trying to find a way to make ends meet. Losing your job is not easy. Losing your job is traumatic. I know some folks who lost their job, and I had somebody tell me, listen, what they saw their partner going through, they said, listen, baby, I need you to just take you a break, take a vacation, because I see the additional stress that this is putting on you, right? But people don't understand that, yes, from the top, when you hear this administration or you hear folks talk about DE&I and they talk, these aren't labels. These aren't just acronyms. These are human beings who have jobs, who have lives, have things to pay for. They have bills to pay for. So when somebody gets laid off, it's not just a number. It is actually a human being that has to go home and face this and figure out how they're going to get their life figured out. That's the one thing I don't like about it. They desensitize the fact that these are real human beings that are being impacted. And unfortunately, it is our community, specifically a lot of black women, are negatively being impacted by this. So I'm right there with you, DT. When I hear about the black unemployment being up, I take that personal. I really do, because I know how that can negatively impact our community and can negatively impact our kids as well.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you said that, because in addition to this data, so one of the things that we had talked about, Kyle, and I just want to reintroduce this, especially for those who are tuning in, nearly 1 out of 5 federal workers is black. And the hemorrhaging of federal jobs has been felt disproportionately by black Americans. And many of the agencies that were targeted for harsh cuts have the highest percentage, Kyle, of black workers. Take, for example, the Department of Education. 28% of the Department of Education workers that were fired were black. and we only make up a single-digit percentage of the population. More than 226,000 black women lost their jobs during the purging of DE&I under the Trump administration.
You said, how many black women lost their jobs?
226,000 black women.
That would be a major city. That would be a major city across every state in this country.
And check this out. It was so intentional that President Trump intensified this brutal, and I'm going back to, because we got to use words because we're humans, when he stripped, and he did this illegally, millions of federal employees of their union contracts that guaranteed their wages, their job safety, and benefits. In spite of being denied access to tens of millions in dues money, their unions have been going toe-to-toe with the Trump regime to reverse his anti-union actions. And so if this continues, if this magnifies, to your point, the trauma of sudden firings or reassignments will increase missing paying bills on time and increase anxiety about the state or the future of black families, black people, and our community in general. This is not just a labor fight. This is a fight for justice and equality. And it should be taken very seriously.
I'm right there with you, DT. And I guess for me, I feel blessed and fortunate to be able to have a job. And I think
yes,
I have a young man that I'm working with who I used to coach back in the day, and I can just feel the stress he feels, right? Because when I used to work with him, he was a kid, right? And so now he's an adult, and I can see the stress that he's going through just trying to find a job. He doesn't live in the state of Wisconsin, and I'm trying to do everything I can to help him find a job somewhere else. And he's talking about getting callbacks. I got these bills that are mounting. Like it's just a lot, right? It's a lot that folks have to face. And so I think we should definitely be empathetic to the fact that, folks, it's not as easy as you think it is to find a job. And also you have to have a certain skill set to be able to do some of these jobs as well. So I just think about what is the next step, right? How do we make sure these people can be made whole by finding unemployment again? And how do we advocate for them, right? Do we talk to our politicians? When do we wake up? Because for me, I don't want to make it political, but a lot of this has to do because of political stuff. So at what point do we weigh, okay, we need to make sure we vote in a certain way, because you ain't going to get everything from anybody, right? You're never going to get everything, but we have to weigh the pros and the cons. And when I look at the first, now we're talking about almost, we're 8+ months into it. I still am yet to see the pros for the black community, right? What are the pros for the black community? Because at the end of the day, that's, I vote for a lot of things, but when I think about how my community is going to be impacted positively, that is something that I believe is high on my priority list, right? Who is going to provide the federal grant money? Who is going to provide the money for infrastructure in order to build roads and hire people, right? Who is going to think about the fact that it is important to have diversity when it comes to hiring, due to the fact of what we had to deal with for hundreds of years here in this country, to balance things out, to give us a fair shake. So that's what's on my mind when I vote. I don't vote based off of what we haven't gotten. I vote based off of what we can get.
And you know what, Kyle, I appreciate you saying that, because one of the areas that I feel as a community that we've discounted and damn near disregarded is the collective power that we have. Because many of us, including you and me and even like the older generation in terms of Gen Xers, are standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, our elders, who didn't wait for a union, or who didn't wait for a legislator, or didn't wait for a lawmaker or an elected official. And so our collective power has been one of the strongest tools that we have always had. Now, also, here's another thing, Kyle, that we got to talk more about, is that we still have economic power. So we can't continue. If y'all ain't hiring us, stay with me, brother. If y'all ain't hiring us, then I need to redirect my money to those companies that are hiring us. Because who we support and where we spend our money is just as powerful as anything. Economic leverage has always been a weapon or a power, I should say, that we have not leveraged enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go back to the Montgomery. Yep, go back to the Montgomery bus boycott. And when we stopped patronizing the bus boycott, and we did it for a long, I think it was like 100 and no, it was more than that. It was like a couple of years.
Yeah, I feel like it was over a year.
Now think about this, Kyle. Right now in 2025, I'm gonna give you a real number, Kyle. Truth Nation, check this out. Black buying power as of Wednesday, September 3rd, is over $1.7 trillion with a T, my brother.
With a capital
trillion.
T, that's a lot of money.
Now, you do the math, Kyle. If you've got brothers, including the brother that you're coaching and advocating for, that is struggling literally to find a job, but yet we as a community are spending over $1.7 trillion, to me, there's a gap. But there's more importantly an opportunity to redirect how we are spending our money and who we are supporting and how we're investing our dollars. Can you imagine if black folks stopped spending like today and just only spent money with black-owned businesses? Can you imagine how that would impact? And if you don't believe me, go ask Target.
Yeah, because the Target CEO, Brian Cornell, he's stepping down from his CEO role February 1st of 2026. And a lot of people believe it's due to factors such as their declining sales and the backlash over DEI policies. But some of those declining sales is because of the cleanse that we had. And one thing I did was my mom, she was a Sam's Club person. She enjoyed going to Sam's Club. And I said, listen, we got to back brands that actually stand up and back us. And there's a Costco not too far away from Sam's Club. And so I got my mama to get a Costco membership over going to Sam's Club simply because of the fact that the Waltons weren't willing to support DEI like Costco standing behind DEI. So I'm all about the fact that if people are going to stay committed to us in a rising political time right now, where I'm sure you know, DT, there are a lot of organizations that are looking at the different, looking at how they're changing the language of, maybe some of their mission statements or some of the scholarships or some of the grants that they give out, so it doesn't offend certain folks, so they don't risk losing stuff. And knowing that there's corporations like Costco, right, and Ben & Jerry's, Sephora, and all these other places that are willing to stand behind their goals of DEI despite some of the backlash they may get.
That's it. And that's the thing. The boycotting and the political vigilance, and Kyle, I want to build off of that great point that you just made. We come back from break, because you had brought this up earlier as well, in addition to what you just shared. There is a political action that we could take, and it really, it requires us to be on the front line, not just at the national level, but from local school boards. And we got to make sure that we are holding our elected officials, especially regarding these tariffs, childcare. We come back, we're going to get more into that. And then also, what are some of the skill sets that we need to focus on? Because if we're being forced out of industries where we've historically held ground, like the federal jobs, let's start pivoting towards the growth industries where we haven't been told much about, including those tech jobs. So we come back, we're going to get into that. I've been joined by Kyle Wallace from Truth. Is it Truth in the Power? Let me get it right. Let me put some respect on it.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Yes, we've got a preview with Kyle right now for our remaining 45 minutes. This is Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm your guest co-host now, DT, the Effective Communication Coach, joined by Kyle Wallace. Kyle Wallace, I don't know why I got tongue-tied really quick. 833-212-1017. We come back, we're going to hear more from Kyle, and we want to hear from you as well. Stay locked in.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. We are nearly 1 million strong and growing stronger every day. Join us on Saturday, October 11th at 8 a.m. at Summerfest Southgate as we come together for the Making Strides of Milwaukee Walk. Whether you walk for a survivor, in the memory of a loved one, or to support the American Cancer Society, you bring us closer to a future free from breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country right here in Milwaukee? Sign up for free today at www.makingstrideswalk.org/Milwaukee WI. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Roskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Dizer. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to Truth with Sherwin Hughes. This is your guest, and now I'm your co-host because I've been joined by the Kyle Wallace from Truth to Power. Actually, Kyle, you about to do a double header, right? You just gonna stay live for the next hour and 40 minutes, right?
I am gonna stay live. I hooked up. I got my show together today, and so I was like, all right, well, now I get to go ahead and come down these stairs and join DT. So yeah, I get to spend 2 hours in the studios. I'm lucky me. Or
I was gonna say you're winning.
I am winning.
You're winning. I appreciate you joining me today as we are co-hosting this final hour of Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Now, we've been talking about navigating through what I am comfortable with describing as another storm. But with any storm, there are possibilities. And so as we are navigating through this unemployment crisis, we, especially as Black Americans, acknowledging the weight of the crisis is what we've been talking about for the first 2 hours, and the impacts, i.e. the violence. And now, Kyle, it's time to talk about the pathways to move forward, because this is an urgent matter, crisis that deserves our action. So my question, I'm going to start with you, Kyle, is where do you see hope and possibility in this storm?
For me, overall, I think the hope and possibility comes from the fact of two things. Murders are up in the city of Milwaukee, which is sad. That's terrible because we don't want to see anybody lose their lives. But in the grand scheme of things, it's sad to say murders are down from what they were in the peak of 2020 and 2021, and crime is down in the city of Milwaukee. So that's the first positive, that is down. But the next thing is I feel like there is a push academically for change. And we have a new superintendent in Brenda Caselius here with MPS as the kids got started with school yesterday with Milwaukee Public Schools, who came in and ruffled some feathers and actually got the teachers union mad at her because she told a lot of folks who worked in the administrative roles inside a central office that, hey, we have a gap to fill inside of classrooms, and we have a little extra of people here. We got more people than we need at central office, so I need to reassign some of y'all to the classroom. Now, again, that's tough to deal with, to have to switch jobs like that, but it's for the kids. And so I think the way out of this for me, DT, and it starts in the classroom, it starts with education, it starts with putting the emphasis on the fact that the only way to prosper in this life is through education. And when I say that, I'm not talking about having to get a 4-year college degree. I'm not even talking about having to get a 2-year college degree. What I'm saying is that in order for us to be successful, we need to make sure these kids have the skills in elementary school, then in the middle school and in the high school in order to be successful, to know how to learn. Because in order for somebody to have a skill, you are the effective communication coach, and you honed your skills coming up as a kid going through school, right? Because somebody saw that.
Absolutely.
They were able to cultivate that. And so whether you go and be an entrepreneur like the wonderful Miss Denise Thomas, or you go and you work in a skill somewhere, you're going to have to be trained and to learn exactly what to do. And so I have hope that with the new superintendent in MPS is that now we're going to have an educational revolution here in the city of Milwaukee. You have places like Ford Collective that are emphasizing providing resources to families to try to help them better educate their students, and schools better educate students. So for me, DT, I'm looking at it from, in the next 5 years, hopefully we see some growth, but more importantly, when we talk about the kids who are right now in middle school and the next 5 years will be in high school, where they're going to be at because of the changes that are coming to MPS. Because a lot of the kids that were in the pandemic, right, the kids that started high school in 2020, them kids are starting college now. A lot of kindergartners who were, 4 years old back then, them kids is starting middle school. A lot of them babies that were born in 2020, them kids is in K4 and K5. And so time keeps moving on. And what are we going to do to prepare ourselves for the next 5 years to ensure that the future of Milwaukee can thrive? And I believe it starts with our educational system.
I 101.7% agree with you, Kyle. That has always been the root cause of success. That was the first thing that the colonizers, also known as slave masters, took from black slaves, the ability to learn and educate themselves, or be educated for that matter. So yes, we got to go back to that. Now, to build off of what you said, Kyle, another thing that we should consider, and I'm glad that the superintendent is ruffling feathers, because part of advancement in any area, whether it's healthcare, whether it's employment, whether it's education, is the ability to adapt. Adaptability, see, that's the thing. We can't be comfortable. We can't be complacent, and we can't be, just expecting change by doing the same things that we've been doing for the past 5, 10, 15, or I'll even be a little smart and sassy, for the past 5,000 superintendents that we've had in the past 5 years.
Ain't that the truth, DT? Ain't that the truth?
You know what I'm saying? So we also, here's the thing. We have been historically conditioned to pursue certain industries. And a lot of it has to do with serving others. Now, let me be clear, Kyle. I am not knocking anyone who works in the hospitality services industry. I'm not knocking that. However, what I am challenging us is that adaptability and navigating means pivoting. And sometimes it's going to take us to look at industries that we traditionally haven't been encouraged or targeted to. I'm talking about tech jobs. You know how much an entry-level cybersecurity analyst makes, Kyle, in this country? Just starting, day one, entry-level.
Starting, based off the way you said it, they make what, 85?
$180,000.
Ooh, $180,000.
And I didn't stutter.
Oh, man.
I'm going to let that sink in, Kyle.
$180,000.
Cybersecurity. Because here's the reality. Cybersecurity, it's just like any aspect of supply chain. If it's in demand and there's a shortage, then the price to fill that gap must be competitive. So if you're listening and somebody's like, yeah, go be a plumber. Not knocking it, because we need those trade jobs too. Go be an HVAC. Not knocking it, because we need those jobs too. However, in our community, what we tend to not be conditioned to apply for, Kyle, is jobs in tech. Jobs that are known as green jobs. So being someone who works in ecology position, green position. These are all industries, Kyle, that are starting off day one, entry level in the high. Like, can you imagine that? $180,000,
No,
and you get
DT,
to work from home.
I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine that. Tech. That wasn't my. It wasn't in. It wasn't put in me, right? As a young
Exactly.
person. And that's why it is. It's something that we should be telling these kids. Matter of fact, with the revolution of AI, we should be making sure a lot of our students, when we teach our students, we teaching our students for their future, right? It's important to learn the foundation things. You got to know how to do multiplication. You got to learn how to do addition. You got to learn how to read. You got to learn history. You got to learn science. But at a certain point, we need to make sure these kids are equipped to be able to take some of those high-paying, high-skilled jobs like that.
Exactly. So the next time, Kyle, and maybe that's something that we should consider, the truth, hosting a career fair. And the next time we either curate a career fair or we promote a career fair or we even know of a career fair, we got to hold these companies accountable that are employing these less popular industry jobs like, again, cybersecurity. Again, the green jobs. And more importantly, entrepreneurship. Yeah. I just celebrated 8 years as the effective communication coach on August 17th. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you. Woo, y'all, it's been a tough year. I ain't gonna lie. But God is good all the time. So yeah, entrepreneurship is something that we got to also continue. And I don't mean, and Kyle, when I say this, because shout out to all my daycare, childcare center owners, all my nail technician salon owners, all my black hair salon. I'm not knocking that because we need that. But I'm also encouraging entrepreneurs to tap into those industries because I'm a leadership coach. And a lot of people, they be like, a black woman, a leadership coach? Yes, and very successful. I've got clients like the NFL, Ooh. Northwestern Mutual, RW Baird.
Those some big time places, DT.
But here's the thing though. I didn't wait. I didn't listen, Kyle. I didn't listen because everybody else was like, you gonna be a communication coach. That doesn't sound like it pays very well. And so I'm saying we gotta break the chain of only applying for jobs that we've been told to apply for. We've got to be able to pivot. We got to be able to obtain some new skills, and we got to be ready to adapt.
DT, what made
So,
I mean, being ready to adapt, right? And having that, it's one thing to have a passion for something, to have a drive. But I am curious to know because the hardest thing in entrepreneurship for a lot of folks, right, is the fear of, well, what if I take this leap or if taking that first step. So what would you tell the folks who are listening right now who have children who talk about wanting to be an entrepreneur, right? Whether it's an entrepreneur on Google, doing something on YouTube, TikTok, or entrepreneur starting their own business. How would you encourage folks who are listening to take that actual first step in trying to be their own boss and start their own business?
In the words of Nike, just do it. I get that question all the time, Kyle. And it's a matter of you have to do it. And I would have rather made the leap and it didn't work out versus me being miserable day after day working in environments that were good with me being okay, Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you are okay, but when you start talking about promotions and you want to be in the C-suite and you want to run this department, that might take you about 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage would just be to just do it. And because here's the thing, if you have a skill that can be monetized, that's going to directly shape someone's improvement, whether it's a product or service, why would you not? Like, why not? That's the more important question. Why not do it? Because all those categories that you just gave, I checked I had 2 children. I was a single parent. I still am a Black woman, and I wasn't forced out of my employment, but I was forced to conform my authentic self and my talents and my skills. And it's no knock to any company that I worked for previously, because I attribute a lot of my ability to run a company based on my experiences and based on the development and the training that I gain, because that's what ultimately keeps me competitive. However, if you're waking up every morning and you're just miserable about going to work, then that probably means you need to redirect. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's one thing that I feel like I've been blessed and fortunate with, that I've never worked a job where I went to work and I was miserable. Like
that's a blessing.
I've never experienced it, and I always thought to myself, as when I went to school, I remember I went to college, right? And when you're young, and I was like, I want to go to business school. I want to do business. And then over the summer, I said, well, I don't want to do business. I'm just saying that I want to work in the field that I love, and so that's why I ended up doing communication. And then I also worked in the field of education, because I had a passion for helping folks, and also had a passion for talking on the radio and informing folks. And so I've never had to work a single job in my life where I did not love what I was doing. Even when I was uprooting invasive plants at Hawthorne Glen for working for MPS Rec, I still found joy and happiness in that. It was fun having a conversation, hanging out. I was a kid. I wouldn't do it every day now. But I've been blessed and fortunate. When I worked at UW Parkside, I felt fulfilled. When I worked at Marquette, I felt fulfilled. When I work here at Good Karma Brands, 1017 The Truth, ESPN Wisconsin, I feel fulfilled every single day. And I just feel so fortunate and blessed to be able to wake up and be excited to go to work. Like, I couldn't imagine waking up saying, I don't want to do this.
And here's the thing. I will say this. A number of employers, and the reason why I can say this is because a number of employers have reached out to me for my services. There's a new found interest. Not to say that it never existed, but it's increased in terms of employees' well-being. And not just physical. Because remember, like when you first get hired, Kyle, you register, you enroll in your health benefits, which is usually medical, dental, and vision. That's traditionally been the core components of benefits, is health, medical, and vision. Medical, dental, and vision. Now, what I am noticing as a consultant is that there are more and more employers that have increased their awareness and even support towards their employees' mental and emotional and psychological well-being. And I love that, because that didn't exist as much when, I was working as an employee. So I applaud these companies, including GKB, that, again, are fostering health, wellness, and support through additional benefits. But to go back to your original question, we got to get back to doing what's best for us versus allowing somebody to tell us what they think is best for us, including employment.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you had the sense to make good decisions on not just surviving at work, but thriving at work. And that's the key as well.
But also, I know we got to get a break, but also something that I had as well, DT, that I know your kids also have this as well, is you got to have support from the household. Like, I had support from the household where when I graduated from grad school, my parents didn't say, oh, well, when you come home, you can't stay here, right? They gave me time to be able to stay there, get my feet settled, find a job, and work myself until I was able to feel comfortable enough to have financially be stable, have a job to be stable before they say, oh, you got to get your behind up out of here, right? I was fortunate enough at the age of when I graduated from grad school at 23 to be able to know that I ain't got to go look for an apartment and look for a job at the same time and try to make ends meet, that I could go find a part-time job somewhere and not have to spend all that money on trying to rent somewhere, but actually having support from the household and the family until I got on my feet, until they said, okay, well, yeah, you economically stable, now go ahead, do what you got to do. That is the support that we really need, because throwing folks to the wolves, yeah, people will find a way to survive, but you really set your kids up for a future where they don't have to say, well, I got to work this job because I hate it. But if you have the means to be able to still help your children, I think people should do it.
Listen, I know we got to go to break. I just got to say this really quick. because Kyle, I was one of those parents that was like, you can't live here when you graduate, but they turned out just fine. But Stacy on our True Talking text line says, DT, more importantly, are you training the Black youth teenagers in your field? Stacy, great question. I'm so glad you asked. Please contact the National Urban League and ask them. Please contact Superintendent Terry Tucker of DeSoto High School here in Dallas, Texas. Please contact a number of nonprofit organizations in Milwaukee, including T-Bay Youth for the Arts. Yes, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk, and I appreciate that question, Stacey. I absolutely are coaching. I don't train anybody. Training is for animals. I coach, nurture, advocate, and develop our Black youth and teenagers. And thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all stay locked in. We come back. More to come. We're going to get ready to wrap up Truth with Sherwin Hughes and get ready for Truth to Power as my guest co-host Kyle Wallace is joining me and will remain live until 1 p.m. Central Time on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. We will be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the First Time Home Buyer Education Workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's going on, Truth Nation? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your girl, DT, guest co-hosting this final hour for Sherwin Hughes. Professor Hughes, we've been joined by Truth to Power host Kyle Wallace. What's going on, Kyle?
What's happening, DT? I'm excited. I'm very excited because, again, I get to get my day on the radio early and this is like a warm-up for me, DT. It's a warm-up, so I'm going to come in hot, Truth Nation, in the next 20 minutes.
Dude, you're coming in so hot. The Truth Talking text line is blowing up. They said, Ray, one of our valued Truth Nation listeners, says, this is amazing and valuable nuggets of information. She gave us not one, but 3 heart emojis, Kyle, and the 3 thank you emojis. She says, thank you, Kyle and DT. Thank you, Ray. We appreciate you listening. She says, kudos to y'all today. And fun fact, going back to Stacy's earlier question, did you know, Kyle, that I started and curated the first and only youth leadership program at Riverside University High School in Milwaukee from 2011 to 2013?
I did not know that.
See, fun fact.
That was a thriving time at Riverside High School, too, University High School.
It was. No, I don't play about our future leaders because, to Stacy's point, you can't just talk the talk. You got to be out here walking. And so, again, as I mentioned to Stacy, and she just said, great, DT, I don't train anybody. We are humans. We don't get trained. We get coached, developed, and encouraged. And that's what I do. So, with that,
before you go into it, I do have a question for you, because I see behind you, it looks like maybe that's Othello, the playbill. And I went to New York about a little over a month ago, and I went to Broadway for the first time, and so I saw that playbill, and so that playbill is a major flex.
Look, I did this.
A couple of them.
Look. And this was all in a weekend. Ooh. I did Hell's Kitchen, Othello. Now, this one don't sleep on. It just ended August 31st, though, but I'm sure they're going to start touring nationally. But this one, too, man. Purpose, what?
It is something that I wanted to do a show about it, but, that's what's up. My biggest thing was I like talking things that are personal life and other things, but then we have big news that trumps that. But when I went there, I just thought to myself, I went to go see Hamilton. And one thing went through my mind when I was there, it's like, man, I wish more folks in Milwaukee, because I always say Milwaukee is a special breed out here in the Midwest, because when you go on the East Coast and you go down in the South as well, the black culture is very, very different. Here in Milwaukee, we have so many different things that we deal with that we don't always get exposed to some of the things that I feel like we should be exposed to. The arts and theater, DT, I mean, it is so incredible, and I feel like it's something that we don't take advantage of enough here in Milwaukee, especially having a Marcus Performing Arts Center right here in downtown Milwaukee.
Let me tell you something, Kyle. You are speaking my love language. And when I was co-hosting Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, I used to talk about that all the time. Y'all, do not sleep on performing arts. As a matter of fact, one of the nonprofit organizations that is mission-oriented, specific to performing arts, is T-Bay, the T-Bay Arts Center. Have you heard about them?
I have heard about them through you, though.
Yes, man, they've got so many incredible programs. They're actually celebrating a milestone this year. So we're going to make sure that I'm actually going to reach out to them and see how we can get their executive director, Contessa, on the show to talk more about what they contribute to the Milwaukee community, especially our future leaders, because we have a huge opportunity to leverage these programs that are specific to performing arts, Kyle. That's such a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, because we got a whole new library that's opening up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is going to be,
I will walk around the house singing Hamilton. Have you seen Hamilton yet?
Several times.
Oh my gosh. You seen it on Broadway too or no?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, DT. I know how to act. When I watched it for the first time, I watched it on Disney Plus, and so I'm sitting there jamming out. And so my lady told me, and her uncles told me, like, hey, now, when you go to Broadway, you can't sing. You can just clap and you can cheer at a certain point, but you can't sing the song. So I'm sitting there just humming in my seat. I mean, it's such a great show. And it just, again, every time I go to see a play, or every time I go to the Marcus Performing Arts Center to see something, I'm always walking away saying, dang, this is incredible for us to have. And the lineup they have at the Marcus Performing Arts Center this year is fantastic. Has Hamilton returned?
Is it? Oh, okay, yeah. I need to check it out, because I'll be back in Milwaukee here in a couple of weeks. So I want to make sure that if there's any great shows or performances occurring while I'm there, I take advantage of that. Speaking of taking advantage, Kyle, because I know Ricky's going to be like, if you don't hurry up and do this, Truth Nation, Now is your chance to be our one call. That's all. Gruber 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 3 right now at 833-212-1017, and you're going to be entered to win. I'm sorry, let me say it right, because I know I don't want y'all coming after me. You will be entered in to win the $5,000 giveaway with the award-winning 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, that is caller number 3. Call us at 833-212-1017. And remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. You can also visit them at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com. And for official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Best wishes to you, because Lord knows I could use 5K, Kyle.
Me too.
So I wish we could play.
Me too. I should have some folks I know call in. I'm just kidding, Truth Nation. I wish.
Right? Yeah, 5K. That's still a real number. So yeah, this has been such a great experience today, filling in for Professor Hughes as he will be back, and we're going to keep it live for y'all. This topic today has been so necessary, and I hope, Kyle, as you continue with Truth to Power, that we continue to focus on not the problems. And this is one thing too that I'm getting real tired of, Kyle. This is just me. I'm getting real tired of hearing our folks, my brothers and sisters, well, how come they get to, look, we already know the type of world that we live in, the type of country that we live in. So they don't need to keep harping on about what they got, what they get, what we didn't get. It's the world we live in. So now it's time to activate chess and stop playing checkers. That's all I'm saying, Kyle.
I feel you, DT. I feel you.
Well, we're going to take a final break. When we come back from break, you're going to hear my closing thoughts for the day. Get you ready, because Kyle's already here, y'all. That's how much he loves y'all. He's already here. He's ready for his Truth to Power. So stay locked in. When we come back, you're going to hear my final thoughts, and get ready for Kyle Wallace Truth to Power live from noon Central Standard Time to 1 p.m., getting you entertained and informed for your lunch hour. Stay locked in. This is the award-winning 101.7 The Truth FM, Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations, where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here we go like that. Here we go like that.
We are back. You are listening to Truth with Sherwin Hughes. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. I'm your guest co-host, DT, the Effective Communication Coach, joined by none other than the Kyle Wallace, who you're actually going to hear from for the next hour after I close up. Shoot, that's how dedicated Kyle is.
Yeah, I hope nobody.
He's like, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I hope nobody said there's too much of me. That's my hope. I hope nobody want to turn off because they're like, all right, that's too much Kyle for today.
Well, you know what? Here's another philosophy that I live by, Kyle. When folks tell you that you're doing, when folks tell you that you're doing the most, it's more than likely because they're not doing enough.
Ooh,
so let's be glad that we get you for 2 hours versus
Y'all heard
1.
that. Y'all heard the Effective Communication Coach. Y'all better listen up.
So, and shout out to our DJ, our producer, DJ Ricky on the ones and twos, who's held it down. Thank you, Ricky.
No problem. No diggity, no doubt.
Ricky, I got to ask you a question just for me and you. Nobody else is listening. Who won the entry for the 5K? Did you get their address too? Don't tell nobody I'm asking you. Did we got a winner?
The good Samaritan name of Howard.
Howard is now officially entered to win the 5K. Hey, Howard. My name is Denise. I'm 49. I like to take long walks on the beach. My favorite color is green.
Oh, wow. Well, you don't
Just
know
in
how
case.
it look like. I don't know if I love 5K, but you know, if Howard was ugly, I'd be like, Howard, we can maybe do a date or something like that.
See, that's y'all's problem. Does attractive people pay my bills every month? I don't care what you look like. If you playing, I'm playing.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You see Carucci out there with dating Deion Sanders. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and I love Deion Sanders, but when I heard Deion Sanders got to have a porta potty on the sideline because he beat cancer, shout out to Deion Sanders, but I was thinking like, dang, Carucci like 37 dating a 55-year-old, 56-year-old. She got to take his little.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Is it love?
101.7 The Truth. I am here for it. She's 37. She's not 18 or 21, Kyle.
I mean, she could probably find a young man a little bit closer to her age.
Do you really want to go there? We literally got like 1 minute left. You really want to go there?
What did I say?
Kyle, the sister is 37. I mean, once you turn like 30, it's fair game. Whoever you want to date. That's just me though.
Ooh,
but yeah.
Okay. I mean, to each their own. Deion's a great guy. So shout out to him and shout out to Carucci as well. But I was just like, dang. I mean, she has.
You ready for a fun fact?
What's a fun fact?
You ready for a fun fact? I don't even know if I should say this, but it don't matter now because I'm 49. When I was 19 years old, I dated a 31-year-old man.
Now, y'all ain't had nothing to talk about. Y'all ain't had nothing to talk. DT, what in the world?
Yes, we did.
What y'all, DT, what was y'all talking about? Y'all couldn't talk about going to the club. Y'all couldn't.
Here's
talk
what
about
we
going
talked
to get
about.
No drink.
Here's my daycare bill. Here's my light bill. We had great conversations.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just playing. No, I'm not. But anyway, that was old. I mean, seriously, she's 37.
I mean, it's only like a 15, 20-year age gap, 18-year age gap. Ain't the worst thing. But let me get out your way because I know we got to go to break here.
Yeah, we got to go to break. Y'all, listen.
About 40 seconds.
Thank you to Ricky, our incredible producer. Kyle, thank you for joining me. We've talked about the weight of this unemployment crisis, and we know the numbers, 7.2% Black unemployment compared to 3% for white workers. And we know our sisters, our Black women are being pushed out. We know our young people, they are standing at the edge of opportunity, but staring down a wall of barriers. So let's talk about our collective power, Truth Nation. The fight for Black labor has always been the fight for justice, but we're going to continue to not just survive, but thrive and rise. Thank y'all so much for allowing me, because I know Professor Hughes be bringing the knowledge. Thank you for supporting me as I guest host today, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow for the morning show as well as Friday. So you'll get more DT this week. And thank you again. Have a great week. I love y'all, Truth Nation. Love, 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 love. Make it a great day. And I will see and hear y'all tomorrow, Lord willing. Thank you, Kyle. Peace out.
Thank you. From the biggest stars to the greatest moments.